I hope we all dance. And that song reminds me of Penny, an older woman I met in the year 2000 when I started my ministerial internship at Paint Branch UU congregation in Adelphi, Maryland. Penny, people told me, had come back not that many years ago from a small island in the Caribbean called Dominica, where she had been a Peace Corps volunteer. Now, Penny had decided at the age of 63 that she would join the Peace Corps and go wherever they sent her. I talked with Penny at length about this amazing experience and her decision. She said the idea popped into her head, and then she initially felt resistance and anxiety at the thought. But, you know, her husband had died, she had retired recently, and she thought, if I don't do something new now at the age of 63, when am I going to try something new? And she decided to do it. And it was a wonderful experience. It was difficult at times, and the conditions were not easy, but when she talked about her experiences, her face lit up. She was happy to have done it. She relived some of the challenging moments and some of the fun moments and some of the moments of pure discovery. And it seems to me that that is the attitude that I wish everyone brought. Not necessarily, I'm not saying all of you should run off and join the Peace Corps. There's plenty of things to do here within our nation that might be useful and challenging and even exciting and wonderful. But when I think about Penny, I also think about haiku. Now, here's why I like haiku. It is a challenge, so Penny took on that challenge. But haiku is challenging to write because, first of all, it's very short. It's limited to 17 syllables. And the message has to fit not only within those few syllables, but also within the pattern, the framework of the haiku. And the message has to be crafted to conjure up a picture. Now, an interim ministry is a bit like haiku. Short. There's a framework, a pattern for the ebb and flow of the transition time between ministers. If things go well, the message is both transmitted and received, and it's a two-way street. Your message to me, the message I have received with love and admiration, is that you are partners with the minister. My message to you, which I have wished to deliver with love and admiration, is that you have the agency to create the faith community you long for. I haven't attempted to define you, to lead you with specific goals and plans. My leadership role has been to encourage you in the use of healthy processes in your decision-making processes. The result is that you have defined what will become of you. You've navigated challenging areas of disagreement and come through stronger as a community. You've used your desire to partner with your minister to create systems and processes that allow you to collaborate with each other. This is a gift you've given yourselves, and you need not fear that anyone can swoop in and take it away. And you have defined yourselves like people going to another country. You have defined yourselves with your new mission statement to explore the richness and mystery of all stages of our earthly and spiritual lives, to grow together in welcoming, inclusive fellowship, to radiate love and justice into our community and into our world. So I have a few thoughts about these. And the thoughts are, in part, to share what I have learned from you. So explore. This idea of exploring, the sort of internal work, is also external to others in the community, in the fellowship. There is an interdependence, one of our UU values, when you explore together, both ideas, theologies, and spiritual practices, sharing thoughts and longings. There is an importance to empathy when you are exploring and really opening yourselves up. This is like Penny stepping into the unknown, not only to share something that's in your own heart, but to listen to others when they share what's in theirs. And there's such a necessity for empathy and paying attention so that you support one another. And I've seen this happen with you. This is not just the first line of your new mission statement. This is actually what you do. And it's been inspirational. And here's a haiku. The hurts of the world press deeply upon us here. We hold them in love. Noticing, listening, exploring, asking questions, and for me, allowing myself to hear even when I don't really want to take in the message. That's such a gift. Thank you. Now, growing in inclusive, welcoming fellowship, really, to me, emphasizes the importance of covenant, which is something you have all explored since I have been here. You had one, but you weren't really thinking about it. And over the 3 years, you've thought about it a lot more. You've learned about it. And I think you have come to understand the importance of covenant and covenantal processes. There's that word process again. It's important to use a covenantal process, a healthy process that supports covenantal behavior and collaborative decision-making. And it's this covenantal process that allows members and newcomers to grow together in welcoming, inclusive fellowship. You've developed the skill of using small group congregation-wide conversations. Now, I say skill, but if you don't have the willingness to explore what other people are actually thinking, the skill is only technical. It's important for that skill to really live in your spirit and your bones. Now, these conversations, these small group congregation-wide conversations, they're really consultations so that people who have the authority to make decisions, whether it's a small group like the board or you as a whole congregation in a congregational meeting, that you have and they have the best possible information and are aware of the many perspectives that are alive in the fellowship. The thing about Penny going to Dominica is that she suddenly saw the entire world from a different perspective. It was completely unlike anything she'd experienced before. And she gained so much from listening and learning to people whose lives were utterly different from her own, and yet who had the same hopes and longings and values that she had. You know, this learning process that you've been through during the last 3 years, it's really great. But I am reminded of a rubber band airplane. Now, you know how this works? You know, there's a rubber band. I twist the propeller, and the rubber band winds up. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And when it's ready to go, when it's all wound up, then it can launch. And sometimes that happens. Our work together during this interim ministry has been like winding up this little airplane. But you know how it works. But if it's to continue flying, some of you have to wind it up and launch it again. So who's gonna do that? Someone wind it up, launch it again? Okay, all right. Yeah, I think it's not broken. This is part of the lesson, right? Even though it crashed, you don't always get the right approach the first time, right? I also wind it up, get it going. Because if it is to continue flying, if these processes are, you can send it back to me when you're ready. If these processes are going to continue working, you have to wind it up and launch it again and again. Now, I'd be perfectly happy to have you do this during the rest of the sermon, but you could also decide maybe just to hold on to it. But this decision, and the decision to wind it up and launch it, that is agency, human agency. When there's the need for a healthy process, these covenantal, faithful conversations, anyone, can wind up the plane and launch it to get things started. But it's important, of course, not to wind it up and launch it because of a decision to promote a particular outcome. Those conversations have to be truly, sincerely, authentically, open-ended. You don't know where it's going to go. So, when winding up the plane to launch those faithful conversations, it's important to do so with the intent to hear and welcome the ideas of everyone, and especially the people you suspect may not agree with you. So what I have seen is the incredible persistence that you have shown, the openness that you have shown. This has been a life lesson for me, to approach everyone with this kind of openness. One of the physicists I have come to know and love since I arrived here is Carlo Rovelli, and I've just learned that Rovelli is coming out with a new book. It's only available in Italian now, and unfortunately, I can't read Italian, but it will be out in September. And his idea in this new book is that the universe is not made up of things, but of relationships. So I want to thank you for, however it happened, introducing me to Carlo Rovelli, and to this idea that what happens in a faith community is not about manipulating things or manipulating people as if they were things, but about creating and sustaining relationships. It's so helpful to me in my own life to be able to see how you are doing this in your lives as a community. So grow in welcoming, inclusive fellowship. Yeah, you're already doing that. And finally, radiate love and justice into the world, into the local community and the world. So here's another haiku. Throw our heartbreak on the bright flame of the Spirit. Love's power rises. You were already doing this when I arrived. You're doing it more now. You're doing it more thanks to your willingness to explore, grow, and collaborate. You radiate more love and justice into the community. I've seen it working. We've talked about it before. I am so impressed. It is a life lesson for me to see that it can be done and that it's possible for even a small community to do so much for the wider world, to radiate so much love and justice. Just keep on doing it. Love's power will keep rising. Your life together as a faith community is an adventure. Anyone's life is an adventure. And if it gets a little challenging, think of Penny at the age of 63, throwing herself into the unknown. Yeah. We never have to leave our neighborhood, though, to do that. The unknown always awaits. It's called the future. And now I have come to the end of my transient time with you. I say goodbye when you say hello to a new minister. And you say goodbye to me when you say hello to a new minister. You know, every end is a beginning. And somehow every beginning always brings you back to that place where you know it and recognize it for the first time. And that is your life as a community. It's that place you always start from. And I have to say that if you think you found your true self during this interim ministry and that your life will unfold like a well-rehearsed pageant, I've failed miserably and I apologize. And if you know that there are parts of you yet to be found, both individuals and as a fellowship, if you know that some of those parts are quite beautiful and that you can cope with whatever happens, then we have all done our job in our work together. There are parts of this fellowship yet to be found, I believe, and I think some of them will turn out to be quite beautiful. And I know that whatever possibilities and challenges arise, that together you can cope with whatever happens. And you know how to be a partner in partnership with a minister. So you are light years ahead of so many of the other congregations I've served. And I'm grateful to have witnessed that. We are all on a journey, an adventure, a pilgrimage of the heart. Here you have found faithful companions, and together you will explore, grow, and radiate. To celebrate this journey we've had together and the journeys that will continue in the future, let's sing Blue Boat Home.